Hi everyone, it's Meredith, your Mac Boss, Intuitive Business Strategist, the IBS that you want. Super excited to get started with our challenge today, Intuition Incubator. We're going to get right into it. Sorry I'm a little late, I had to get some stuff together that I thought was together, but it's not. Intuition. I don't know how many of you are familiar with intuition, have ever delved into intuition, but it's really closely associated most often with women. Many people think that men are maybe too shallow to dig into their intuition, but there are many intuitive men, I'm sure. And it's really just a feeling of something without knowing exactly the source of the prompting. And that's usually characterized as intuition. It's when an individual chooses to ignore these Hi whoever joined, who chooses to ignore these promptings, that there are often dire consequences. A lot of people heavily rely on their intuition to get them through their day, to get them through their life, to get them through situations. And most of us should, if we're not, make sure I'm not on mute, most of us should, if we're not, use our intuition in our business. And it's nothing unusual. It's our natural navigation system. It's not anything that you have to go out and buy, but it is something that you need to hone and you need to cultivate. And a lot of, even the more of the medical field is starting to really rely on and acknowledge that intuition is very important. It's your natural navigation system. It's multi-sensory perception. And a lot of people lives have been saved. A lot of people have been able to actually do things and see things and feel things and get themselves out of danger when they rely on their intuition. And it also goes, hi Natalie, hi Tracy, it totally allows you to really zero in on who you are, how you serve the world, and how you present yourself to the world. Oftentimes, some people ignore their intuition. I did. I pretended that I wasn't intuitive my entire life, but I have been intuitive all of my life. I've always had that sixth sense. My friends, my family, everyone who knows me has always kind of seen it and noticed it about me. And about in November, I started to really delve into the more spiritual side of my life, opening myself up to the divine, more than just what I'd always thought and always practiced and always believed in, but being more open to the universe and the angels and the divine. And it has just catapulted my life, catapulted my business. And I didn't acknowledge it for 4 decades. It was something special about who I was that I didn't own, didn't want people to know. And I finally came out at about 36. So it was completely dumbfounded. Like when I realized this is who I truly am, there's nothing wrong with it, I want to own it, I want to totally delve into it, I could just see the change. And it wasn't like a slow change. Like as soon as I started owning it, as soon as I started delving into it and really cultivating it, my life changed for the better. I finally came out of my shell. I noticed huge changes in my life. I will admit I was a bit terrified because I didn't know how people would accept it. I didn't know how people would respond. It gave me the courage to start a new chapter in my life. And it allowed me to follow my gut, my heart, and to really figure out decisions that I probably already knew the answer to, but wasn't really owning how much of it I knew. I kind of felt like it was unnatural to know these things, to feel these things. But, you know, I no longer care if people accept it. I don't care about it fitting into any boxes or any squares or anything that requires me not to own who I am. I am obsessed with my mom. I'm obsessed with my business. I work my business actually as a stress reliever. And it gives me all the pleasure in the world, and I own that. And part of my intuitive side is allowing myself, and what I try to teach my clients and try to teach my friends is you become so much more happy, so much more in tune with yourself when you just rely on this natural navigation system. It was something that we were definitely given to utilize, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing weird or crazy about it. It's just like using a GPS system that your body was naturally programmed to get. It's like you're your own Siri. And I go with my gut in my business when it comes to picking clients, when it comes to really getting to know who my soulmate clients are, and even just who soulmate friends are and people that I interact with. I'm also an empath. So it's really interesting when I go out in public that I pick up on their energy and I can foresee things, and it's not about being psychic so much as just this little nudge inside of my soul that allows me to be able to really delve into what it is my next step should be. And I asked Lindsay to do a meditation because I really think that meditation allows you to quiet your thoughts and to really become one with yourself and really dig into, and allows you on a different level to hone your intuition. It's when you feel strongly about something without a logical basis, that's often also your intuition. It can come in 3 impressions: clairvoyance, or your third eye, or sensing clearly, or feeling through listening. Like when you are open and you're meditating and you're becoming one with your thoughts, you're clearing your mind, it allows you to really delve deeper because you are clearing and you're being open. You're opening yourself to that intuitive gut feeling and to the direction that your natural body system is telling you to go in. Clairvoyance is often your eye, it goes beyond what it sees. It's when you know what's going to happen. Like sometimes when I'm going along and it's like, that isn't something that I should do. That isn't a direction that I should take. When I get on client calls, it's like this client we're not going to resonate. We're not going to work well together. Even when I come in contact with people, I often, when I don't like someone, which is very rare, but when I don't like someone, I typically am right. There's something about them that doesn't jive, that isn't going to resonate with me. We're going to butt heads on some pretty hardcore core values, and that's not fun. It was just kind of funny, and I'm kind of glad my spouse won't see this, but, well, he's not my spouse right now, but I met him. Hi, Gina. When I met him, I just fell head over heels in love with him. He was the most amazing man I ever met. I just thought he was like the cat's liver. And then the Friday before we got married, I got this sick pit of my stomach feeling that I should not go through with my wedding. My mom got the same feeling. My papa, who married us, who did the ceremony for us, got the same feeling. Even when he did our marriage counseling, he was like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And he's a very quiet man. And a week into my marriage, I was like, oh crap, what have I got myself into? And it wasn't cold feet. Hey, Lindsay, hi, doll. It was something I really should have paid attention to. My ex-best friend, same thing with her. I knew she was underhanded and kind of one-dimensional, even back when we were in middle school, and I still befriended her. And looking back over our relationship, it was completely, everybody else could see it, and I could feel it deep in my soul too. And I wouldn't admit it. There's just, the way that you can use intuition, and especially when you're meditating, is to clear your mind of all extraneous thought. Lindsay did a wonderful meditation for us today. I suggest if you haven't or you weren't able to follow live, you go back and review that. But if you would just quiet your mind and ask yourself certain questions and really open yourself to the answer, even if it's not what you would like it to be, you'll find oftentimes that you will get your answer. It may not happen right away, but you'll just start feeling the rumblings of the answer. And, sensing clearly, that hunch, that gut feeling, it sometimes can be overwhelming. And you can't always explain it. It's just this I know kind of feeling. And then sometimes you feel it through listening or opening yourself or your clairvoyance. And you're able to kind of hear that quiet voice within you. And that's why I recommend meditation. I was not a meditator. Believe you me, it just started within a month ago. And I did not at all think I could quiet my mind long enough to meditate, to really delve deeper into who I am, what I want. But as soon as I started meditating, my entire life changed. I found an incredible, and I'll put it in the comments, it's 2 different CDs, 2 different soundtracks. One is about 6 minutes and one's about 3 minutes. So I'd allocate about 15 minutes. And I've tried doing it just sitting in my chair. I don't feel as relaxed. But when I lay down, even on the floor or on my bed, I can feel the difference. And I can feel myself not getting as stressed. And I'm a better parent. Even in the short amount of time that I've been doing it, I'm a better coach. I'm a better friend. Because I can quiet myself down into that time, and I can really get one with myself. So I recommend meditation. And a lot of people want to know, why even develop your intuition? I'm going to read something that's really pretty important. And you don't want to let your emotional and psychological state as it is. You know, your intuition promotes good communication. It makes you more sensitive to the people around you. And this is something that I didn't know but have always felt. It allows you to keep it most times from hurting other people because you're so in tune, and it allows you to really get to know them and be in tune with them. So maybe you're more careful about your interaction with people. Isn't that the most amazing thing, that even having and developing your intuition affects how you might step on someone else or hurt someone else? I mean, I think that's the most amazing thing in the world. And I thought that was pretty cool because I'm very careful about what I say to people. I'm very careful about how I interact with people. I'm very careful about the words that I say. I'm the person who believes that you can give someone advice or tell someone what you think without hurting their feelings. I've always been told that the truth hurts, or you have to, sometimes you just have to take like a TIS. And I never believed that. I thought that was just rude people giving an excuse for being more rude. But when you're intuitive and you allow yourself to become one with that, it allows you to kind of tread more lightly in the way you communicate with other people, in the way that you interact with other people. And they'll be more grateful, and they may even be more open to hearing what you have to say, because it's extremely important. And it allows you to be more creative. It opens up that creativity and that creative spark within you. And I think it's the most amazing thing in the world. And when you delve deep into your soul, you can eradicate a lot of negative energy. And, you need to just be open to that. And I don't think a lot of people are open. I think a lot of people may have grown up like I did and told that they really probably shouldn't get into that, like it's bad or it's something negative or something. But the one thing I don't think a lot of people, other things that I'm getting more into and that I like to teach about, is intuition has a healing power. There is a healing power, and it's not a physical sense. You delve deep into your soul and you get out the negative energy like I was talking about, and it can allow you to really heal and really open up your body to more healing agents and to, I'm trying to think of a good word to say, to recuperate, to heal better than anything else. And the reason I started off today with meditation is meditation allows you to find peace in yourself. If your mind and heart are cluttered with too much baggage, you won't be able to quiet down, and that part of you will eventually become very irritated, and it'll just move its way into the rest of your day and the rest of your life. And there are lots of ways to meditate. You can use yoga, you can find a practice. I'll put, like I said, 2 of the ones that have changed my life in the comments. There's people like Lindsay who do meditation, and you can create your own. I mean, it's often just about quieting your mind and opening yourself up to the divine. And I'm going to put some cool truths that I found in the comments too. But I want you, delving into your intuition and honing it. You can really access and develop it more and more. There's no such thing as developing it too much or it's as sharp as it's ever going to be. There's always room to grow. And there's a specific meditation in which you ask your mind questions, and there's a meditation that we're going to go through really quickly with decision making. And I think this is really important because I've had some major decisions to make within my life in the last month. And this meditation, I tried it with a healer actually last winter. And it changed my life, completely changed my life. And it's really, really simple. It's called a yes and no meditation. And I'll put it in the comments. But you make yourself a comfortable place and you close your eyes. You take a few minutes to focus on your breath and let each breath relax you more deeply. And you allow your hands to rest in your lap and your palms are facing upwards. And then you will think of a decision that you need to make and imagine it. And then on the one hand, you're holding the word yes. And in the other hand, you're holding the word no. And you're going to actually feel it and put some real characteristics to it. You're going to see the letters yes. You're going to feel the weight of it, sense the texture. Do the same thing with the word no. And you're going to take a few minutes on each word, yes and no, and think about how each feels. And how do you feel? And, any images or sounds that come to mind. And take a few minutes and do the same thing with the word no. How does that feel? How do you feel? And take as long as you need to explore all the sensations and the feelings and the visions and the music that go with each one, yes and no. And then once you have a clear understanding of feeling both the yes and the no, you ask yourself the questions of your intuition in your mind and you sense the response. And you explore this idea for a while. And then when you're ready, you come back and you can open your eyes and you come back to center. And when you're finished, you take a few minutes to breathe and to think about what your intuition is really, truly trying to communicate with you and what it's trying to tell you. And when I made that decision to do that a little while ago, last winter, I was really shocked at what my body was telling me. I was shocked at what my intuition was telling me. I was shocked at what my answer was because I really didn't like the answer that I got. It was very shocking. It was very earth-shattering. It was extremely difficult. I'll tell you a couple things more. I'm trying to keep these videos within like 20 minutes if possible. My grandmother died, for most of you that know that. My grandmother died this past January, broke my heart, just completely upheavaled my life. And her death date is probably something only she could do, at least in my opinion. She died January 23rd at 4 o'clock. So if you just take those all those numbers, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was just floored. I had no indication that she was going to pass away. She hadn't been sick. She actually preached at her church the Sunday beforehand. We spoke that morning. Nothing gave indication that she was going to pass away. But I knew it was going to happen. And I wish I didn't know. Like, I tried to avoid it. I tried to pretend I didn't know. Like last year, around the middle of the year, she and I had this long, heartfelt conversation, one we never probably would have had otherwise. And then I found out some interesting things about her about 2 weeks before she died, which, again, didn't see that coming. But I could see myself in the funeral home picking out what she was going to be dressed in, what her funeral was going to look like, what her casket was going to look like. And then, lo and behold, here we are, within 4 months of that, at least, she passed away. It was the craziest thing. And I just opened myself up to the divine, angels, and things like that were not things I grew up believing in. But now I do. And I think it was kind of the inroads to me owning my intuition, owning my intuitive side, owning the angels, owning all these wonderful things. But I had to be open to it. So the first step in your homework tonight is find a meditation, whether it's one that Lindsay's done, whether it's one of the ones I am going to put in the comments, or you just look on YouTube, or if you have one that you use, meditate tonight on something that you don't normally meditate. Like, take some time, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and just use that time to open yourself up to whatever your inner navigation system is trying to tell you. Be really open. Like, don't fight it. Just be open. And even if what you find out isn't something that you really were expecting, own it and really accept it. Because if anything else you take from this challenge is owning yourself and being authentic and owning your intuition and your natural navigation system and how it operates for your good. And if it's not operating for your good, then it's not your intuition, because your intuition is there for you in your navigation system. It's there for your benefit. So tonight's homework is to find a meditation, whether it's one we recommend or it's one that you find on your own or one that you've already started using, and ask your intuition something that you've always wanted to know and see what you get back. And if you want to tell us in the comments, feel free. If you want to PM me and tell me I'm the most confidential person, you could tell me something and I'll keep it till I die. Or if you just want to keep it to yourself, that's totally fine. I respect your privacy. But it's a wonderful thing to get into, and I can assure you it's been the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, is to own authentically who I am and my intuition. And also try the yes-no meditation. I'll put it in the comments. And start out with something simple, unless you want to do something more difficult. But, just try out something simple at first, like, do I really like tomatoes? Something really simple that, it would be easy for you to feel out and tell the difference between. Or if you want to be like, gusto like I did, ask something hard. My first time doing the meditation, I had something like earth-shattering. So try either one. Let us know how it works for you. You could PM me if you don't want to put it publicly, or you could start a new thread or whatever you want to do. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about thinking positively, being happy. How that goes into your intuition. I'm going to put in the comments, so if you missed anything, you can replay this and you can see the stuff in the comments. And I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. I am super excited about this, so I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for giving me your time. Have a wonderful day.